Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We down to the next to the last episode. We got another recap, Love Island Season 3, Episode 28. And we have our final 4 couples. But before we dive into this, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications. If you like the video, smash that like button, and also feel free to drop a comment down in the comment section below. And I gotta say thank you to all you guys. Been loving your comments and your engagement on the channel. I see you in the comment section. So thank you for watching the videos, and also thank you so much this season for engaging in the channel. So we do have a little bit to unpack. So without further ado, let's jump into this video. So we have another episode of Love Island. What we saw in the previous episode is this whole thing where they had the smell of pheromones. That was hilarious. And then, of course, we had an elimination yesterday where both Andre and Trina was the couple to be voted off by the other remaining 4 couples. Well, at least 3 out of the 4. So tonight, our couples are going on their final date. Now, that leaves us with Jeremy and Bailey, Will and Kyra, and then, of course, we have Charlie and Alana, and last but not least, Corey and Olivia. And so the episode, they started out by giving us a shower scene between Will and Kyra. I guess they feel like they're going all in, no interference. It's just them. They're kind of getting back to where they was before Casa Amor, I'm seeming to notice. But just my thoughts. Then we had Corey coming in saying that he's going to fix his lady love, Olivia, some breakfast. And she was pretty excited about it. I think she's gotten used to it because she was looking like, okay, cool, bring it on. And I like a man who, surprise you with breakfast every now and then. But Corey did, fix her a nice breakfast. It like he did a pretty good job. So obviously this is something that he's definitely accustomed to. He gave her a bit of fruit and some eggs and stuff, so it even looked kind of healthy. And so she absolutely loved it. And I don't know, they're growing on me. I'm not there yet. And it was so funny that Kyra came over and gave them both a hug, and I think she was putting her hand on his butt or something. That was funny. So while Kyra and Will was having a conversation, Kyra got a text that all of the Islanders will be going on a date, and the first couple going on a date was Corey and Olivia. And the type of date, they gave them little clues, and obviously this one gave a clue of them going on a helicopter ride, and they were excited. No, they haven't been on a date before, I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but anywho, they're excited about going on their date. In the meantime, we do have the other couples talking about them and how they felt that they've been growing toward each other and been building a connection. I just hate production didn't give us all of it, because a lot of folks are thinking like, I'm not feeling it, I don't see it, because we didn't get a lot of it. Now, Cash and Cinco said that they've been flirting with each other all the time. We weren't privy to that. So of course the fans are going to be like, I don't know where this is coming from. So yes, they got a helicopter ride. They seem pretty excited. I also want to ask you guys, who got the better date edit? Because you can tell the differences in their date. Now, what did you think about Corey saying that her eyes look as blue as the water that they were flying over? I thought that was pretty cool. It's hard for me to connect because they didn't do the build up with us with this particular couple. We got mid-season right after Casa Amor and looked like they just decided to come together. So they had their little sit-down conversation, and Olivia was saying that when she came into the villa, she didn't think that she would be able to connect with anyone. And then we did also hear how Corey said that he compared the helicopter ride that they were in, similar to their actual journey. And I thought that was pretty interesting. But back at the villa, Jeremy and Will had this swimming contest to see who would win. And whoever would win will take their particular lady over for a shower kiss. And Jeremy, you can tell he was all in. He was extremely competitive. And he was the one that actually won that contest between him and Will. So he was the one that was able to take his girl Bailey over to that little shower where the heart is. I didn't know it was a shower over there. Surprised me. But anywho, they had this long shower kiss and everything. Bailey is definitely all in. I'm still not 100 on Jeremy, but I don't know. We'll have to see how their date goes. But with these two, I'm just not there yet. The couples that we have left it's just not there for me. Anywho, so we're back with Olivia and Corey's date, and they were talking about how they're going to deal with the long distance because they don't live close to each other and how hard it could be. Corey says, though, if you want to do it, you just got to get up and do it. He also says that he's the guy that wants to travel the world. Now, I don't remember Olivia responding to that at all. I don't know if she said that she's open to doing the long distance. I heard the conversation on her end, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, if I missed something. But he's a world traveler. I know he was promising some of the other girls to go to Egypt and stuff like that. I think he promised that to Florida and one of the other girls. But anywho, so there was another couple that got a text in the villa, and that was Kyra and Will. Now, with their particular date, their date was pretty much afloat. And so Kyra was extremely excited. It seems like since there's less people in the house, these two have really been able to kind of focus on what they're going to do. And it was interesting to see because, I've been saying things about them since Casa Amora. But as they were going out, Corey and Olivia was coming back in. And they basically had a sit-down conversation with the other Islanders to say that, oh my God, they had a great time. Olivia was talking about how her eyelashes almost flew off from, I guess, the blades swinging. And, she was like she had to catch her eyelashes. I thought that was hilarious. However, we're back over to Will and Kyra, and Will is a vegan, and they got meat on that plate. And I'm like, really? You know that dude is a vegan? You could have gave him some fruits and veggies. Anywho, so I honestly believe that they got the better date at it. Now, that's just my opinion, and I'll tell you why in a second. But before we get to that, so they had their sit-down conversation, and Will has talked about, what he talked about was that he had commitment issues. He was worried about whether or not he would feel secure enough to be able to put a commitment out there on the table when it come to Kyra. He did say in the villa to the guys that today was going to be a special day. So, it's interesting to see what that means. But, with this yacht date that they have, they pretty much spoke about their journey, how I think he came in when Cinco came in. And so they've been together for pretty much most of the season because I think he came in probably like episode 3 or 4. But we'll talk about them in a minute. And then there's this whole conversation about the girls pranking both Jeremy and Corey. So they decided to say that there was a text that America had sent them and how they wanted both Jeremy and Corey to go on this bromance date. I actually thought it was funny. And so they were so excited. You see Corey jumping up all over him. And you know what? That's one thing I will say about each season is that even though some folks don't stay together, there are a lot of these folks that are still friends from the time that they started until after the villa. And this is no exception. And so one of the conversations that they had while these girls are just cracking up because they realized that they pranked them, they started talking about their journey and how they like the same women. At one point, we see Charlie bringing them smoothies. He acted like the classic waiter. I thought that was funny too. I mean, they had to put little filler scenes in there, in between these dates that they had to make up for the time that we had to watch the show. But they were talking about the fact that, how throughout it all, we liked the same girls. The girls came and go. And at the end of this thing, we see where Jeremy said, I have something serious to ask you. And I just want to know, Corey, will you be my best friend? And I thought that was so funny. And they thought it was real until the girls told them it was a prank. And they were looking crazy. They even chased them. And what else was so funny is when we saw, of course, Jeremy was like, oh my God, I actually thought America liked me. Well, Jeremy, it is what it is. So we're back to Kyra and Will's date. And this is where we see in this scene is where Will start to talk about Casa Amor. And he wanted to apologize even more for Casa Amor and the fact that he felt bad for putting her in that situation. And he needed to do that. Now, no matter what anybody else thinks, it's his choice. It's her choice to do whatever with each other. He also asked her to be his girlfriend. And see, that was my biggest concern because last Sunday's episode, he didn't want to put a commitment on the table. But I guess he said he wanted to make it special and he wanted to wait for that perfect time. Plus, he said that he felt secure in the relationship that both he and Kyra it was in. And they decided to take that plunge and decided to become boyfriend and girlfriend. And guys, I love underwater scenes. So I just had to put these couple scenes in here. I think they were so romantic and so cute. That's why I said that Will and Kyra got the better date edit in this particular episode. Now, somebody else is going on a date next, and that's Charlie and Alana. And of course, they're excited. They get to go on a luau date. Now, I was kind of curious on how that was going to turn out because I was thinking like it was going to be really upbeat and exciting and dancing, and maybe they would actually be doing the luau type dance with them. It was a little bit different. I also will say Charlie said that when he saw Alana in the beauty room, he actually thought he was going to faint. And I'm like, okay, I didn't expect that one. So while they're getting dressed to go on their date, Will and Kyra is on the way back in. And so, I don't know, Olivia had that look on her face because remember, there's this conversation that had been going on between her and Trina and Kyra about her relationship with Will. I guess we're past that. However, they did announce to the other islanders that they are a couple in a girlfriend and boyfriend relationship. And so everybody seemed to be pretty excited. So then we see also Jeremy and Bailey get a text about their final date. And they have what is called the Light Up the Night date. So back with Charlie and Alana, they had this romantic setting in the woods where it was, lit with all these little torches and everything. And they got to have a sit-down conversation as well. Alana had told him that since the whole thing since Cash had left, he had opened up and was being himself. She even said that he was dancing on tables and that he says that he was very happy. And, this is the happiest he's been. And I honestly think that this particular date got the worst date edit. We didn't get to see much. We did get to see the luau dance and, the slow music and everything. They seem to be excited about, being on a date with each other. But at the same time, we got somebody else going out on a date. And again, that is Bailey and Jeremy. They're definitely excited, especially Bailey. She's been wanting this dude to open up, kind of let some walls down. And I guess she's assuming that since this is her first and last date in the villa, because she's never been on one since she's been there, she's excited. But we do get I will say that the girls were absolutely gorgeous, and they do the luau dance, and it was in slow motion. Now, I don't know if, I guess it wasn't the traditional one, but I thought it was really cute. But I didn't think they got the best edit or the best date edit. I also didn't hear them really talk about conversation about in depth about whether or not they really want to pursue something outside of the villa. Let me know what you guys think about that, because I don't know if that's going to go anywhere. So then we have the light up the night date with a Bailey and with Jeremy. I know Bailey thought that this was going to be a date made with fireworks and all of that. They gave them a ton of sushi. Now, I like certain sushi, but that was a lot of raw meat on that plate. It ain't my cup. Some I eat little, but not a lot. But he was definitely pretty excited about everything. Now, the conversation that they had was Jeremy talking about when he came into the villa, he really didn't know what he wanted. And that was definitely evident by the fact that all of the girls and the dates and everything that he went on, and he just couldn't stick with anybody. And he said that he was that way because of him coming off his last relationship. And I'm like, maybe you should have healed from that, but okay. But he's saying that now with Bailey here, that has kind of changed his outlook on everything in regards to Love Island, and that he is interested in pursuing something with her outside of the island. But, let me know what you guys think. Bailey is definitely happy that he's opening up. And we see in their date, they had these fire dancers. I thought it was okay. I think it was a little bit of a step above Charlie and Alana's date, which they definitely just came back from. And they had a conversation with the other islanders, and they was talking about it was thousands of candles, and like thousands, okay, not thousands, millions. And I'm like, you go down in number, not up in number. That was crazy. But anywho, Bailey is extremely happy. They decide to take their little tete-a-tete over to the hot tub, and I thought that hot tub was really pretty. I mean, with the blue lights and the water. That's why I said their date edit tended to look a little bit more. I would give it, out of the 4, I would put it at 3, put Charlie and Alana at 4. But they actually got to get some romantic time, and Bailey was definitely open for that. And as they came back to the villa, they did discuss that with the other islanders, and Bailey had the biggest smile on her face. And she was talking about with the other islands how, how cliche is to say, oh my God, this is the best night ever. And I really, best date of my life. And she was like, I know we kept saying it, but it felt that way. So I think she's kind of wearing him down. He seems to definitely have a little bit more interest here than what we probably have seen. Now, according to Cinco and Cash, Jeremy is the comedian in the house. We didn't get to see that. Producers, please give us these folks. I know you're trying to create a narrative, but okay. And he dances a lot. So they call it a night. Everybody has had their dates, and pretty much everybody's been cuddling and kissing and carrying on at bedtime. So this leads us into Sunday night, and Sunday night is the finale. There is a winner and a pot of gold at the end of that Love Island rainbow of $100,000. The question is, who is going to win it? So, like I said, it's either between two couples. I would say it's either between Corey and Olivia, or Will and Kyra. I think Will and Kyra got the best date edit. And I actually think that Olivia and Corey came in at number 2 because that helicopter date didn't top the Caleb and Justine helicopter date in season 2. So that's just my thought. So we'll see what happens. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. We're coming down to the end, and we will see you on Sunday.